Now, good day. Let's start our English lesson, Textbook Action 11 by Express Publishing. I'm an English teacher of High Agrarian Technical College, Исатаева А.К. Now, let's start. Module 6, STEM, the theme of the lesson is Analyzing Academic Language. Learning objectives of this lesson are use a wide range of vocabulary which is appropriate to topic and genre and which is spelled accurately. Recognize the attitude, opinion, or tone of the writer in extended text on a range of more complex and abstract general and curricular topics. Use talk or writing as a means of reflecting on and exploring a range of perspectives on the world. Understand speaker viewpoints and extent of explicit agreement between speakers on a range of general and curricular topics. Use the appropriate subject-specific vocabulary and the syntax to talk about a range of familiar and some unfamiliar general and curricular topics. Assessment criteria of this lesson. In this lesson, students can listen and read for specific information, can answer questions, listen and read for gist, practice collocations. Do you speak science? What does this question mean? It means that learning STEM subject can be like learning a whole new language because of all technical vocabulary. And have a good knowledge of science for language can help you understand a whole range of technical terms and the characteristics of scientific writings, and it is the best way to teach the vocabulary through learning prefixes and suffixes. Now look at this word. ARTHR and ITIS. What do these letter combinations mean? They mean, as you guess, they are prefix and suffix. The prefix "athr" means joint and the suffix "iris" means inflammation or infection. We join them with other word parts. "Athr" could be used in medicine or taxonomy, and "iris" is often used in medicine. Other characteristics of scientific writing are that it has irregular plurals, uses passive voice, and contains facts and figures, and not many descriptive adjectives. In order to understand these prefix and suffix, you should watch this video. Now let's start.
Do you speak science? Learning a STEM subject can be like learning a whole new language. Technical vocabulary. A lot of scientific language has roots that come from Latin or Greek. If you learn the meaning of these common roots, you can work out the meaning of new scientific words that you haven't seen before. For example, the prefix AR-THR comes from the Greek word arthrosi, which means joint. When we combine that with the suffix ITIS, which means infection or inflammation, we get the word arthritis. Arthritis is an inflammation of the joints. Plurals. The way in which we use plural forms in STEM subjects is also unusual. We often encounter irregular plurals because of the word's Greek or Latin origin. For example, the word cactus doesn't become cactuses, as expected, but instead becomes cacti. Sentence structures. Scientific writing often uses the passive voice to give importance to actions, rather than the person who performed them. For example, we would use the sentence, "A beaker was filled with water," rather than, "The scientist filled a beaker with water." Characteristics of scientific texts. Scientific writing has some characteristics that tend to utilize statistics and facts and make objective statements rather than giving subjective descriptions using adjectives. Learning to understand and write scientific texts in English can be tricky for both native English speakers and for people learning English as a second language. However, it's important to keep practicing and not give up.
Now, thank you. As you have seen in this video, arthritis, prefix arthro and itis, mean the word join. As you see, it's a scientific term. Now let's go on. As you see in this video, you have got some information. Now let's answer the questions. And in your textbooks you have this text also, and you should answer these questions. Which languages does a lot of scientific language come from? It is the first question. The second question, how is the formation of plurals different in scientific writing? The third one, what are the characteristics of scientific texts? And the last is, what is the writer's attitude towards learning technical vocabulary? Now I'll give you some time, some minutes. Now let's look at the possible answers. The answer for the first question, a lot of scientific language come from Greek and Latin languages. The second question, forming plurals is different in scientific writings because many of them are irregular. Instead of using common plural endings such as s, es, or ies, scientific words often end with I, a, or ae in the plural. The answer for the third one, the characteristics of scientific texts include use of the passive voice, statistics, and objective statements. And the last is, the writer feels that learning technical vocabulary can be difficult, but that lots of people find it tricky and so should practice and not give up. Now, if you have noticed these answers, let's go on. The third exercise in your textbooks is to fill in. To fill in is the given words and to make up phrases. So they are scientific, objective, technical, personal, common, sentence. Now you should make them and make up sentences and tell the class. Now I'll give you possible answers.
Common roots. Scientific language. Technical vocabulary. Sentence structure. Objective statements. Personal opinion.
Now that is all. Common roots, scientific language, technical vocabulary, sentence structure, objective statements, personal opinion. Now let's make up sentences using these phrases. Now let's go on. After this, you should write 2 things you have learned from the text. From the text, from the video, from this presentation, what kind of 2 things? Write down in your copybooks. Then I'll give you 2 statements. 2 statements and you should choose one of them. The first is, I see that you have learned that lots of prefixes and suffixes originate from the Latin or Greek languages. I already knew this, but I discovered that the rules surrounding forming plurals are different for many words in STEM subjects. It's maybe your opinion. Now, the second statement. Yes, I knew about that from words such as bacteria and algae, but we both learned that we should avoid words like almost, about, and nearly in scientific texts because they suggest inaccuracy. There are 4 statements and you should choose one of them. Now, if you have some questions concerning this lesson, you will watch this presentation again. You will get some information from the textbook, and if you have no question, it is very nice. It is well done, and thank you for this lesson. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.